you, it becomes clear that teachers and education are entrusted with a very important and complex task. So to support them, it seems necessary to first define what skills are needed for sustainability. Is it true?
I fully agree with you. And first of all, as a matter of fact, teachers need to be supported because they are doing a very complex task, as you said before, rightly. But they are the ones who are on the ground, acting on the ground, are first in the front. And when it comes to of course, learning and developing new skills. So it's super important to give them all the support we can. So the idea of framing and defining the specificities of the competences that are linked to sustainability is not new. It's something that has been tackled by various institutions and various countries. Unfortunately, we don't have a sort of universal framework. I don't even know, to tell the truth, it's a good idea to have a universal framework. But it was an excellent idea for the institutions, and that was, by the way, written black and white in the Green Deal communication back in 2019 already. We need to, at EU level, we needed to have a competence framework that could serve as an inspiration for all the the member states. So that was developed. So it's called officially the European Sustainability Competence Framework, for short, Green Comp, for green competences. It's not very original. And it was released at the beginning of 2023, the same year when the Council recommendation was adopted, because it was accompanying the Council recommendation. And I mean, personally, I must say I like it very much. I think it's a very interesting document, and it generates a lot of interest also in the education community, and it has been already used and reused and adapted, because and that's something I should say from the very beginning. It's a conceptual framework, so it means that you use it the way you want to use it, of course, and you can adapt it depending, of course, on your needs. So basically, what it does, it defines 12 competences that are organized under 4 main group of competences. That's the first thing to understand. So the 4 themes, if you want, of these large competence areas are about, if I make it easier to understand, about values. It's called embodying sustainability values. The second one is about, as you said before, complexity, because that's it. I mean, we have to deal with complexity, and that requires specific competences. So embracing complexity in sustainability, that's the name. The third one is about envisioning future, so envisioning sustainable future. And here again, there are very interesting competences that we have to develop to give that possibility of envisioning future. And the fourth one is about action, acting for sustainability. And I won't go into the detail, because again, you can have a direct access to a Green Comp and learn how to use it. But it's, first of all, very interesting to see that, of course, it's based on the competence approach, competence-based approach, which is, to my view, more than ever needed, and especially when it comes to sustainability, and especially when AI is coming. Knowledge is very important, but it's not just about knowledge, and that's something I should have defined from the beginning. The competence framework, Green Comp, starts from a definition of competence. I'm going to really talk about competence and not skills, which is an ensemble of knowledge, skills, and attitudes. So these are the competences. Of course, I have to learn new knowledge, specific knowledge linked to sustainability. That's obvious. But I've got also to develop specific skills and also adapt my behavior to have the right attitudes. And then you've got Green Comp. So it's about, for instance, I give you an example. It's certainly about systems thinking, which is, to my view, one of the most important competence, which is my own personal view, because another thing I should have said is that there are no order. There is no hierarchy among these competences. All are as important as the other one. And you have to deal with all these competences to develop sustainability competence. But systems thinking is definitely an interesting one, because if you want to develop systems thinking in a school, and this is one of your target, and you are a history teacher, like I used to be, for instance, if I want to talk about sustainability and give that possibility to my students to develop systems thinking, I can't just stick to history. I've got to work with my geography colleague, and I've got to work with my biology colleague. So immediately you see that how tackling in education such a competence framework with this definition invites me as an educator to work really on an interdisciplinary basis. So I think that's very interesting. Another one, for instance, is political agency, to develop the possibilities for the learner to be fully an agent acting in society, but working on developing individual initiatives, but also being able to work on at collective level. So you see, it's I will stop here because I could talk forever about it, but it's an interesting, really competence framework. So the last thing I wanted to say, and it will be, I think, a good transition, is that there was in the pipeline a year ago the idea to develop a dedicated community of practice to invite users interested in green competences to talk about and to work around Green Comp. And it has been developed, it exists now, and it's hosted within the Education for Climate Coalition. So it means that teachers, but students, academics are invited to join such a community if they're interested in implementing and competence framework and using Green Comp.